Now, first, let's talk about Meghan. Quite a week for the gruesome twosome over in Montecito because Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, Duchess of Netflix, they often call her. Netflix seems to be all she's got left now because Spotify, she had a $20 million deal with Spotify and they dumped her. They just cancelled it. And also, they're not going to give her the full 20 million because they don't think she was productive enough. So there's this sort of suggestion that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan, they're very happy to take your money, but they don't actually want to do anything for that money. Spotify said you didn't do enough, you're not getting your 20 million, and we don't want to work with you anymore because your podcast was boring and a failure. So another Spotify executive has extremely strong words to say about the couple. So let's talk about this with former Sun Royal editor Charlie Rae. Hi, Charlie. Is Charlie there?
Hello, matey.
Hi, Charlie. Welcome back. You've been on your travels.
Hello.
Great to have you back. You've come back at a very poignant moment, I think, in the history of Meghan Markle, because quite a hell of a story this week. You know, Spotify not only cancelled her contract, they also let it be known that they wouldn't be giving her the full 20 million because they considered that 12 podcasts in 2 to 3 years was not exactly very productive, and therefore they don't think she warrants the full amount. And one Spotify executive, possibly voicing the concerns of the company generally, he said we should make another podcast with these two and call it, no, we're not going to use the word, we should call it bleeping grifters. Now, grifters means con men in America. It's all coming home to roost for them, isn't it?
The bubble burst, Kevin. There is no doubt about that. And as you quite rightly mentioned, Spotify have said, that's it, it's all over. We're going to get the full $20 million. I guarantee Netflix will fall shortly in scrapping their £80 million deal. And let's not forget as well, Kevin, that Netflix were bitterly angry when they were paying this couple a huge wonga, and they went to CBS to do the infamous Oprah Winfrey show. And, there's many TV executives are now saying these two just don't know anything at all about the way it works. And most of the salvo goes towards Meghan because she is the dominant one in this partnership when it comes to Spotify and Netflix. And she's now telling executives who've got oodles of experience, more so than her acting appearances in Suits, if you remember. And she's now telling all these executives how to run Hollywood.
Yeah.
Come on, girl, get a grip.
Yeah, her podcast series called Archetypes. She had people like Serena Williams, Maria Carey went on there. So it was all about empowering women. I mean, I never understood.
Kevin. It was boring.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's two things about it. I'm not convinced that Meghan understands what the word archetypes means. So I'm not quite sure why she gave it this strange title. I'm sure it's the wrong word. And secondly, it was just worthy and dull. And defenders of Meghan go, oh, well, the first one went straight to the top of the charts. Well, it would. That's novelty value. But the rest of the series, it just died because it was dull.
And in one of the series, she had Paranoid, where they were discussing the word bimbo, as to what it meant and why it was a wrong, Paris Hilton, and in the second one it was about the padding in a bra. I mean, get a grip. I mean, this is just not good podcast stuff. It's not good television. And also they've only got, it's a one-trick pony, and that is they can only shout and moan about their poor lives within the royal family. Well, they've shouted and moaned on now that no one else is interested in what they've got to say about the royal family, because most of what has been absolute rubbish.
Well, that's the guy who criticised them openly is called Bill Simmons. He's an American sports supremo, makes a very, very successful podcast himself, but he also is part of the Spotify outfit, and he looks after their podcast output. And he said a couple of things. He said we should make a new series with these two called the Bleeping Grifters, because he said that they basically didn't do any work for their money. And secondly, he says, and I'll quote him here, he said, I've got to get drunk one night and tell the story of the Zoom I had with Harry to try and help him with a podcast idea. It's one of my best stories. Now, we don't know what was in that conversation, but I suspect the whole the whole sort of gist of all of this is that these two don't really understand what they have to deliver for the massive deals that they make. So they say, we'll take you $20 million. And then they think that they can sort of come up with some sort of boring, worthy rubbish that people don't want to listen to. It's not good enough, is it?
And that's the problem, Kevin. I think as ex-members of the royal family, I mean, they've always thought that they were the biggest thing in the royal family, which is patently not true. But they think as members of the royal family, they can just literally water. Well, they're now drowning. It's that simple.